Pack up the babies, pack up the ladies, let's sit down and go. Let's watch the Jim Pillsbury Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Pillsbury. As always, the music you hear in the background is our own Grave Easton with the new Jim Pillsbury Live little song there. Boy, that was a surprise. I'm really, that's an excellent piece, an excellent piece. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do.
Thank you, Jim. That's get yourself a cup of cocoa. Here comes the Jim Pillsbury Show. Everybody's dreaming what they want to do. Everybody's dreaming, and that includes you too. Cafe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Pillsbury. As always, we are coming to you live. Tonight starts our summer season outside, live from the Knotty Pine Cafe right across the street. That's the original song that you wrote, is Small World, and you adapted it.
Wrote in 1970.
1970.
And then on your show, we adapted it as a theme song for the Knotty Pine Cafe.
And that's how it all started, strangely enough.
That was the true story.
The true story. Oh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Pillsbury. As always, we are coming to you live from the Knotty Pine Cafe, 14 Burr Street in Framingham to be exact. And that music in the background is our own victory band, headed up by our own, yes, the applause in the background. We have a very small studio, but we can fit a couple hundred people in the back to applaud. Thank you very much. Grave Easton is heading this band up with the acoustic guitar. Gravy, thanks for coming in and doing your wild thing. Frank Solitero is on rhythm guitar, the quiet one. Christian Eberl is on, I love that applause. It goes real fast, is on bass, and Johnny Hujo is on the keys tonight. And you see how we train our audiences so well here that they applaud on command, which is really great. Thanks for turning on and tuning in. We have a great show for you in the next hour. Let me first start off by saying, as we always do, thank you to this crew. Mike Morrissey is directing the show. Dawn Harkness is on the CG. Jolie is here as floor director, which is wonderful. Steve is on the soundboard for the TV show, and Amy is on the soundboard for the band. This gets more and more complicated every week. Joe Kay is on the guest shot, and Helen A. or Helena from Parts Unknown, we try not to ask, is on the my shot and the band shot, and our beautiful Deb is on this shot right as we speak right now. So without these people, the show goes nowhere. 169 live shows. No one's done it. No one wants to. Let me tell you, it's really amazing. Tonight I had to actually plow my Lumina loaded down with gear through a snowbank to actually get it in here, and I hurt my back, of course, moving all the amps as I usually do at my age. I don't know why I do it. I love doing this show, and I love the people that do this show with me, and again, I thank them all. And if I could ask the facilities crew here at the Knotty Pine Cafe to turn on the AC, I'm getting a little warm. Unfortunately, I do kind of work up a little bit of blood pressure playing the drums, and which is something that I truly love to do and wish I could make money at it. But as you can tell, I'm not that good at it yet. So stay tuned. My friend Gravy, how are you, sir?
Good, Jim. How are you?
We survived another nor'easter.
What a blizzard it was.
Well, you know, I was just going to say, editorialize for a moment. You might think, according to the national news, that we had a bomb dropped on New England, and from Washington all the way up to Boston, we were just about, I guess, assumed dead in some snowbank. And I'm really surprised that the media. Last year this time we had 50 some odd inches. 30 days of below zero. It was a tough winter.
Very.
And this winter, I've had the Mustang out the top down in February, and we have one snowstorm, and the world's coming to an end.
And the next few days, you'll be able to ride your Mustang again?
Exactly, when it's going to be 50 on Wednesday. So I don't know what it is about our media, but they play up these snowstorms like no tomorrow. And it's a wonder, every year that we've done this, 2 out of 3, you and I end up talking about
something or other.
Something or other, which is kind of, it's a good thing. It's people want to know about you, exactly.
Well, I try to keep myself a mystery.
I know you are, but you are a mystery. But the viewers who write to us, you were playing music a long time ago.
Well, I started in 1968.
1968.
And I taught myself the guitar.
Yep.
And that's when I first started to write songs. And I wrote songs probably at the tune of like 50 a year or so.
That's ambitious.
Well, at this point, I've got about 300 songs, but only 299 are any good. The other one I'm really worried about.
We should say, ladies and gentlemen, that Grave Wright has written all the songs that you hear on the show, and it is getting windier. Those were my sunglasses who blew across the thing. Gravy has written all the songs for the show, and will continue to do so. And at some point, we will make an album of just Grave songs. We're not sure what it'll look like or what it'll even sound like, but we will get 298 songs.
The box set.
The
yes,
box set,
yes.
and then we can bootleg it, and you'll be more famous than you ever were in the past. Do you see, music has changed a lot in the years that we've done this, that you've done this, I should say. Folk music is kind of, it's still kind of not as big as it once was now. It was big in the past. Do you see a revival of that ever coming back?
Not really. I think people are pretty much ensconced in their own fields of endeavor. And folk singers have a philosophy all to their own.
Yeah.
Which is that hundreds of dollars literally can be made in folk music. And that kind of tells you what the whole
hundreds of dollars have been made in folk music.
Yes.
But the folky places just don't seem to be around. The Arts Center in Natick, the new one in Framingham and Saxonville, they're small venues trying to cater, I think, to the acoustic player. But you just don't see a lot of that. And I don't know why that is.
You know, I think people don't come out as much as they used to either.
Yeah. On the computer, you think?
I think.
Speaking of computers, you want to tell the viewers about our Google
Well, that
phenomenon?
was a good little lead-in, because I was going to say the reason people aren't going to the folk clubs is because they're at home
watching
the
our
Google
show,
video.
our show on Google Video.
Google
Tell the viewers
Video.
how to do it.
All you do is you go to jimpillsbury.org, or org as we like to say in the business, and at the top of the screen there'll be a little button you can click to download the live version of Jim Pillsbury Live.
Or you can just see it without downloading it.
And you can see it without downloading
But you
it.
need a fast enough computer, a fast enough connection, right? You can't do it with a regular dial-up, I'm presuming.
I will testify to that.
You cannot do that with a
Can't.
dial-up. You need something, a cable modem or something to actually get the program, speed it up, and whatever. 1,100 people have seen the shows from the web as of last week.
Right.
That's a lot of people.
And the numbers are just growing.
We've had 11,000 hits on the website in 4 years. So in proportion, people seem to be watching the computer more than they are the show on TV.
I think that's a safe bet.
Isn't that odd? And how many, let's see, we had 63 downloads. That means people
Right.
actually put it to a disc on their computer. That's a lot of downloads. I can't imagine everybody in the band does that every hour.
Oh, I know I don't.
Yeah, well, yeah, your computer's so slow that, you can, but you can do email, and that's really the important thing about a computer. It's really remarkable, I think, that whole Google thing. We can upload, Steve uploads the show. It's an amazing, really an amazing technology that we somehow
Isn't it though?
stumbled into one day and said, wow, we can do that. And that's a pretty big deal. That's, to me, I'm still in awe of all this technology.
Oh, me too.
That we
Yeah.
can do this. Although I will say that we spent a lot of money on a boom camera today that has been a real boom problem. And so hopefully it's working behind us, and Ashley is getting some really great shots of, can you see if that's working? Is
It's
Ashley
moving.
actually,
It's
it's
going
moving.
Up, it's going up and down.
It's moving. Oh, so maybe
They're
there'll
getting,
be.
they're getting a good shot of our ceiling right now.
Are they really? Okay. Well, hopefully there'll be a shot of something a little bit to our right that's more interesting than just the ceiling. So, are we almost there for time? Are we? Okay. Why don't you disrobe, and we'll do a couple of we'll do a song or two.
I'll see you.
And we'll be right back. We have our middle song, and hang in there for Rich Parsons. We'll be right back.
And I wanna take it slow down the Mississippi River with you. I may sound like a dream, but I'm just delivering you. Oh, once I started, I'd take my time. I wouldn't think enjoying it would be a crime. I Massachusetts might be making it, but it isn't necessarily true. California might be cozy, but I'd rather stand the river of blue. I've been to New York City a lot, but if I stayed, I know I'd only ride. I want to take a slow down the Mississippi River with you. Yes, I do. I do. Don't you know? We'll be drinking scotch and soda on the beauty nobody would ever know. Well, let her give me all that she had, from the coal in the mines to that Louisiana jazz. I want to take a slow one down the Mississippi River with you. Yes, I do. I do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you, gentlemen. You guys were absolutely fantastic, as always. And flag. Interestingly enough, the Republicans have tried to reinsert the flag burning legislation again, and President Bush will be beating his chest on that. But other than that, I see you moving that chair there, big fella. Don't go back. Don't, Tammy, watch him. Don't let him go back. It'll be a clip that we're going to have to clip out. God almighty. Mississippi River. That goes way back, doesn't it? You wrote that a long time ago.
It was 1970. Yeah.
1970. On a particular reason?
Not really. It's just I've always had a very varied taste in music. I like pop, I like rock, I like folk, I like country. And that was a song that just probably came from a wine bottle one night. And I just felt like I wanted to take a slow boat down the Mississippi River.
But you may not be making it in Massachusetts necessarily. That's interesting way back when that you would have used that line.
Isn't it? That later became a slogan for the state of Massachusetts when they were trying to get business to come here.
Yes.
And it was making it in Massachusetts.
Yeah, yeah, that was, yeah, it's funny how it ended up being in the state thing and out of your song.
I've talked to my lawyer and we're considering suing them.
Are you? I would. Clearly, they owe you big time. That was really, that's a great little song.
It is a fun song.
Everybody loves that song when it's played wherever we go. It's a fun, kind of a rockabilly kind of,
Yeah.
you know, it can
It's
be
got
played.
the old country flavor to
Yep,
it.
and Dave and Johnny and Christian and Frank, they really add to that spice to it.
Oh, without a doubt. I see all the music has come alive with more band members.
Yeah, the more band members. And that was in the beginning, you did that solo.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really, even on the show, that was a wild time.
Well, I'd say half of my performing career...
Do you mind if I smoke?
Not at all.
Thank you very much.
I'd join you if I could.
Well.
But anyway, half of my career has been doing solo music as opposed to band music. Mm-hmm. So I've had experience in both areas.
And you were in a band called?
The last band was
one.
Gravity.
Gravity. And that band, part of that band actually played with us years ago in Ashland.
In Ashland, the Stone Park.
Stone Park, for a rally that we did. We're not going to mention why, because I don't know why, but it's important to know that those band guys are still playing.
They still are.
And they played for us, what was it, 2 years ago? We did a Christmas concert
At the
from the
telethon,
town hall telethon, and some of the members it was great to see them after all these years.
Yes, indeed.
And still rocking, still rolling, which is really, that's phenomenal. It seems like we're coming into our own later in life. We're not 20 anymore.
Well, I feel like it.
I know you do, but the reality of it is, we all work. We all have to, do things that are taking a lot of our time, and we just can't be professional musicians like perhaps we wanted to in the beginning. So, as you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, there's a heck of a marching band, and I hope you can hear some of it through our... Absolutely, and you can be found on the Boston Rock Hall of Fame, I understand.
Well, it was actually a Boston Rock and Roll Museum.
Rock and Roll Museum. That's,
we haven't been to the Hall of Fame yet.
Well, just the fact that you're in the museum to begin with, to me, is just... I can't believe it. I know somebody that's actually living and in a museum at the same time.
After the show, I will be doing autographs.
You will be doing autographs, that's right. Will you have to return to the museum? Or will you stay? Okay, because we're supposed to go to the town hall.
Need to do this.
And the numbers are increasing, by the way.
These people are in Worcester, these people are in Boston, they're not in Framingham. Right. It's not your average daily thing to remind their kids.
We have a message from Gravey.
I would like to mention the factor of preying on children, which is on the upper level something that's equally as important as a national issue, which is the degradation of our media, the lyrics in some of our music, the quality of some of our television broadcasts is outrageously degrading.
Not to mention the internet.
And the internet. but corporations and the FCC are to share major blame for lowering the standard progressively as time goes on.
I would have never thought of bringing that up. That's an interesting point.
I've been a member of the Parents Television Council for a number of years. I was an honorary trustee at one time, which is a major campaign to clean up the airwaves. And the website, if anybody would like to go to it to join this fight, is parentstv.org. And this is an ongoing campaign to convince the money people that this is not right. This affects the children in our homes, in our schools.
Good point. Yeah.
They can find an instrument keeper in their area, go to that person and use that instrument.
So, do you have a question? No. I thought you had a question.
Well, an observation.
Please.
I tend to think of myself as a Christian, and when it comes to New Age, the phrase New Age, I'm rather an agnostic, but I do allow for a dimension that most Christians don't concern themselves with. As a matter of fact, physicists today allow for as many as 11 dimensions. And we only live, of course, in 4 dimensions, so we can't relate to what the other ones are like. But I think it's very intriguing to tap into this type of an energy. This is what is going to save the world, by tapping into these forces that we don't often acknowledge.
Yeah.
Good point.
And I just tend to do it in my own way as a Christian, but I do leave that door open.
Yeah. No, I think the other show has. And we've brought back from the dead ex-president, Richard Milhouse Nixon. And we want to just say hello to him. And thank you very much, sir, for coming here. We really appreciate it. Mr. dead ex-president, can I call you Dick?
I would be honored if you did.
Okay, Dick, ex-president Dick. Tell us, when you love that applause.
I've missed it for so many years.
How does it? You've seen now decades after you've left office under questionable circumstances. What do you think of the country and where it's going now, Dick?
I think it's a catastrophe.
Is it a catastrophe?
It certainly is.
Really? And in what way, sir?
I think the mechanism of the government is being perverted.
It is perverted?
Yes.
Really?
There's not enough criminality in the government.
Is that right? Now, what would you do about that in the big picture of things, Mr.?
I'd bring back the men in my administration.
In your administration?
Bring them back.
All the people that are have gone to jail and are dead now, and you'd bring them back and help George W. run the country.
Yes, indeed.
I wanted to ask you about the war that basically you lied about for so many years to us. The new war now, George W. is conducting. What do you think of this? Do you think it's good for the country?
What George needs is a secret plan to end the war.
George needs a secret plan.
It worked for me.
It worked for you. That's true. It did work for you, but it just took a long, long time to actually get there. Is there some advice before you go? I know you have to go back to wherever it is that dead ex-presidents go back to. Is there some advice you would like to give George before you go? He may be watching this sometime this week.
I would encourage him to read my books.
All of them?
All of them.
Really?
Yes.
And he'll be a better president for it?
He will be one of the best presidents you've ever had if he reads my books.
Unbelievable. President Nixon, thank you so much for coming out from the grave to see us.
Thank you, Jim.
And you look remarkably good from all this for all these years that you've been in the ground. We can't wait to see you back there, as a matter of fact. So we'll see you again.
I sure hope so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Milhouse Nixon, thank you very much. We're going to go back. We're going to go back to our cat video right now while we have another president coming on the deck. But so here's what's happened now. The rest of that. Joining us this evening live here on the Knotty Pine Cafe, Ronald Reagan, and sir, it's wonderful to see you. It's amazing to see you. Yes, it's great to have you on. How have you been?
I've been feeling great.
Have you been feeling great? Really?
Yep.
You don't have that little shake anymore. That went away.
A little time away from
all that
power
pressure
of the presidency will make you snap back into shape.
I wanted to ask you, in retrospect now, you've seen that a couple of presidents have happened after you. Just say no with Nancy. What the hell? Do you think that was really kind of a foolish thing to do to begin with?
Looking back, I do.
You do?
I think we made a few mistakes.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. And it's great that you would admit that. Our former guest, Richard Milhouse Nixon, didn't really admit that he did anything wrong, that everything was, you know what I mean, everything was fine. So it's amazing how your skin color is really, it's amazing that you've been dead all this time and, you still have, yes.
My secret is bee pollen.
Bee pollen.
I take a lot of bee pollen.
Bee pollen, do you really? And you find every time you speak, the audience there must be a lot of Republicans in our audience tonight.
People always loved Ronnie.
People loved Ronnie, but people didn't really like Nancy. What the hell's up with that?
Frank Sinatra liked that.
Well, Frank liked anything in a skirt, but let's get down to why Nancy came up with this "just say no." I mean, really. Just say no to everything that's bad for you, everything that was good for you. I mean, really, it really just didn't work. What was she thinking?
It's hard to tell with Nancy.
Yeah.
I know she consulted her horoscope.
She did?
Yes.
Really? Do you know what her sign is?
I think it's wait.
Wait?
Yes.
Really? Her sign is wait?
Yes.
Oh, I see. That's a new astronomical sign that I'm not aware of.
Oh, astronomical sign.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. We don't. It doesn't matter. It's only cable and nobody watches the show anyway. But what's her sign? Do you know?
My sign is.
No, her sign.
Oh, her sign.
Her sign, yeah.
I've been married to this woman for 80 years.
And you don't know what her sign is.
Her sign used to be Gemini.
It used to be, but they're two-faced, so now
she could be the other Gemini.
She could be the other Gemini, exactly. Now, I just asked the other former president about George W. Do you have any advice for a fellow Republican? You were really the last conservative bastion of republicanism, if I may say. It's drifted away from the ideal of conservatism, I think, generally.
I think you're right, Jim.
And do you have any suggestions for George W.?
I would echo what my friend Richard Nixon said a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
I would like him to read my books and my speeches.
Read your books.
If he spent...
Yeah. The people love your speeches, and obviously every time you speak, you get applause. I've been here 4 years, and nobody applaud me. So really, and now they are. So the key is to read your books and read your speeches.
I would think that would do it for him.
It would. Really? God. You know, it's amazing that both of you have the same advice for Mr. Bush.
The secret is to read more.
It is.
George doesn't spend any time reading.
Unbelievable.
I don't think he spends much time thinking.
I don't think. What do you think about him making George fess up, making that's for another president. Let me move on. Mr. Reagan, President Reagan, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you go back to President's grave, wherever
it's
that
a
is.
Pleasure to meet you, Jim.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, former President Ronald Reagan, right here live on the Knotty Pine Cafe. All right. While we have another guest, let me go back to camera 2, if we may. Camera, switch to Deb. Thank you. All right. So here's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, our President, George W. Bush, live on the Knotty Pine Cafe, and we have applause. George, thank you, Mr. President, I should say, thank you very much for coming on the show. You're so brave. I wanted to talk to you specifically about the Vice President and how strange it is that he would be hunting and just kind of shoot somebody and not want to fess up to it. What do you think of that?
Well, I think Dick did the right thing.
Dick did the right thing and not be honest with the people?
What we strive for in our administration is consistency.
Consistency.
Yes, so we try not to be as accountable as other presidents
as other presidents have been, and you're certainly yeah, baby, yeah. The crowd loves you. There are a lot of Republicans in the audience here tonight.
A lot of Democrats.
But
like
do you think?
Too.
Yeah. Do you think that in hindsight that perhaps he should have just fessed up to shooting his friend and fessed up that he was perhaps drinking too much and fessed up that this all happened on the ranch, perhaps illegally, because he didn't even have a permit to shoot quail?
Well, I think that in the midst of hunting down terrorists, we should keep our guns in practice.
We should. And a good NRA member would always say that. But
you never know where
really,
Osama bin Laden is going to strike.
The lawyer was only 6'5", and I assume that Dick Cheney, being 6 feet tall, is shooting a guy in the chest. Are there birds flying at chest level, do you think, Mr. President?
In Texas, there are a lot of strange birds.
There are a lot of strange birds in Texas.
I married one.
Is that right? Well, we all love to see your lovely wife on TV because I think she's much more attractive than even you are, Mr. President, when it comes to, well, you know, you're an attractive guy, but your wife is incredibly smart. Now, one last question before I let you go. Do you see an ending of this war anytime soon, or do you see any mass weapons of destruction on the horizon for them?
We're going to be at war for the next 200 years.
200 years, okay, all right.
If we can't bring this nation to ruin before then, we have a problem.
Really? Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The advice of our current President George W. Bush from the great state of Texas. President Bush, thank you so much for coming on. We really thank you. Shake my hand there, buddy. And yeah, it's right here. And get back to the White House as soon as you can. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to the cat film real quick and show the end of that fight. And it's going to be, we need to make that switch faster. Okay, here we go. Has he been thinking perhaps of a telethon, the Dawn Harkness Relief Fund? I think it would be. What do you think? From time to time, did you want to say something? I'm sorry. Did I break?
No, I would like to say one thing.
Please.
Just as a public service.
Please.
I know April 15th is approaching, ladies and gentlemen. That means tax day.
And we all know tax day is our favorite day.
It's one of my favorite days, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And for anybody who wants an update on the income tax situation as it exists now with the federal government, go to the website givemeliberty.org. That's givemeliberty.org and find out the real truth.
All right. That, ladies and gentlemen, was paid for by your public dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit of nostalgic, this is how it all started here on the Jim Pillsbury Live Show, just Gravy by himself. So we want to celebrate that with him. And him and Christian and Grave will do a couple of songs for us. So stay there, go get yourself a cup of cocoa and listen to these guys. It's really great. We'll be right back.
Thank you. Thank you, one and all. We're about to embark on our cruise. This is a little song that I wrote with the islands in mind. A dear friend who's going away on a short tropical cruise. I hope she has a good time. I sit and watch the steamers going by. I feel the lightning crash upon the sea. I breathe the air and know that I'm home at last to stay. I think of memories that can never die. I feel the difference that it makes in me. I feel these leaves and wool, I'm by your side each night and day. I walked along a lonely, narrow road. I want our hearts together while they bend. For now at last you see the torch that's glowed in me for you for so long and still. A glass of wine, a piece of apple pie, the simple pleasures that I like to see. They have a meaning when you're by my side each night and day. I walked along a lonely, narrow road. I want our hearts together while they bend. For now at last you see the torch that's glowed in me for you for so long and still. See the lightning crash upon the sea. I feel you when you're sitting next to me. I wish that I had never ever gone so far away. Thank you so much. Very much we do. Would you like another? Let's turn down the lights and light a little candle. Pour a glass of wine. Well, let's make a non-alcoholic wine for the studio. You in your green gingham gown, turning like a merry-go-round. I thought that you were a dream until you came to redeem me in the candlelight. I, in my fear, placed the blame, but somehow I lost my aim. It was a long time ago. I didn't want you to know me in the candlelight. I slapped the face of the earth. I cursed the Lord for my birth. I felt a suicide claw until you looked and you saw me in the candlelight.
Very nice. Everybody has their own thing. Gravy.
I had a shocking incident on my way to the studio tonight.
Oh man, here we go. Here we go. This is true life. This is true life, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a true story, ladies and gentlemen. I had a person in front of me that didn't like the green light they had. So they wanted to wait until it turned red, until the next green light came on. I'm hitting my horn, they won't move. The light's green, they wanted to wait for the next one.
Were they on the phone? I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't want to look at them, I just drove away.
Yeah. Site. And if Steve, you go show the viewer how to go Jim Pillsbury on demand, and this will scare you for all you Jim Pillsbury fans. And there you see Gravy. Gravy opens every show on Google, and this is free. You don't have to buy anything. You can just go to Google Video, and you can download these shows. You can play them live. It's an incredible, and whenever you're ready, Steve, if you could pick one of those shows, like we talked about, and let it rip. Now this is the modern, this is unbelievable. My VHS at home still flashes because I can't program the freaking time, but yet now the show is seen by millions on the web. And there's Gravy, the star of the show. Look at the clarity of it. It's unbelievable. You can play this at work, you can play this at home.
The Jim Pillsbury Show. The Naughty Pine Cafe.
Excellent. All right, so if you ever want to see us, ladies and gentlemen, come back to me. If you ever want to see us not on TV, you can see us on computer. We look really good in widescreen. Wars now type thing, as perhaps we were when we were of that age, worried about war and things like that. So stay right there. We're going to have a little. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do this. Gravy took ill just a minute ago, and he's back. So this is just one of those things, ladies and gentlemen, that live TV has to offer, and you saw it here. I can't read them all because it just takes too much time away from the guests. And my fantastic co-host, Mr. Grave Easton. Sir, how are you?
Jim, I'm fine, and on a wonderful day like today, it gives me pause to think of how wonderful it is to be seen by millions of people.
Yes.
with you.
Yes. All right. I thought you were going to say about our guest, but that's nice too. Thank you very much. And it's 12,000 hits on the website and over 3,000 hits on Google Video in 18 weeks. We must be doing something right having you on. So stay right there. We're going to close the show with a song.
Great.
So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, that's the old stretch. Oh, we stretch for 1 minute. But you know what? I could probably ask Gravy to stretch for a minute. If somebody would cue Gravy, I bet you Gravy could cue
I
for.
am the master of stretch. I have stretched more than any human has ever stretched before.
See? I knew it. I knew Gravy could do it.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Cars and letters to this address, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you all next week. 199. That's what we're doing next week. Not somebody you want to screw with, I can tell you that. I want to show you how big we were on the Common. Take it away, Gare.
Just one more and then I'll be moving along. I don't know why I keep hanging around here. My reputation for misery is spread through town here. Before you know it, I'll make the front page. Extra, read all about it. Just one more and then I'll be hitting the road. I don't know why I keep bending my elbow. I wonder if this girl beside me might know. Too much whiskey and I'll be fit for a cage. Oh, why can't I feel good without it? The condition I'm in when it just ain't right. I'm wishing that I had just one more so the night wouldn't be so long. I thought that love would be enough to get me through. My heart is working for the minimum wage. Yeah, and at this point I'm ready to shout at the condition I'm in when it just ain't right. I'm wishing that I had just one more so the night wouldn't be so long. just one more, and then I'll be moving along.
Back to the woodshed, boys.
Stay here. We're going to close with a song, as you know, and good luck with everything. I'm sure we're going to be seeing you more and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show next week for you. It's Patriots Day. We got the day off. Who knows what we're going to do? See you next week. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
Watching TV hitting the hay. I got the urge to grab my guitar, yeah. Oh yeah. I called my friends and said it was time. To waste this music would be a crime. Cause it's encouraged me to find. Love it or lose it, we're going on the road. Hallelujah.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you so much. Now keep away from the stage. Please, keep away from the stage. Thank you.
No panties and grapes.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Absolutely.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was the Naughty Pine Cafe.
He's a handsome son of a gun.
This guy here, very handsome.
Gravy! Look at Gravy! Now there's Gravy. There's the Gravester. I can't wait for that to be on the website.
And then we've got